Cristo Reyes versus K.Anderson in the penultimate game of the first round here at the Happy Bet European Darts Open. Cristo, the Spaniard, one of the 13 different nationalities represented, against the Australian, the original K.Anderson, a man who lost his luggage when he turned up yesterday. Had to wait for it to be delivered late at night. I'm not quite sure what he would have worn had it not turned up in time, because I don't think they sell those shirts down Dusseldorf Airport duty free. But he is here, he's got his darts, he's got his kit, and he is probably one of the players in this first round action that you would have wanted to have avoided when the draw was made, because he is playing some stunning darts right now. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one. Paul Nicholson, a man who knows all about Australian dart players, because, well, he is one.
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. A lot of people saw this fixture as the treat.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, Cristo to throw first.
The session.
Game on!
Are we about to be proved right?
Well, we have seen K.Anderson come ever so close to his first PDC final, last time out in the European Tour. For me, he was the player of the weekend. He was superb. He knocked out Michael van Gerwen in the world number 164. The succession of bullseye finishes in the middle part of the game, it was absolutely unreal finishing from Anderson. He then very nearly beat the power, Phil Taylor. And there aren't many people who beat Michael van Gerwen and then Phil Taylor back-to-back in any tournament. You do that, you deserve to win it.
That's a very good question. Has anybody ever done that?
I'm sure it has been done, but it won't be by many.
In the time that Michael has been going a little bit crazy.
Yeah, new Michael in the last 3 years.
Yeah, Michael version 2.0.
Yeah, that one.
Just going to put this out there.
100.
Losing your luggage is no excuse. There was a dart player by the name of Alan Tabin who lost his darts on the way to Atlanta, Georgia.
60.
Used somebody else's darts and still won the tournament. I'm sure he had his own clothes though.
The Saint. St Helens finest. Well, a man who spawned a
60.
generation of St Helens dart players. You only have to look at his rival in Stoke nowadays.
Yep, don't go and play local darts in St Helens.
Absolutely brutal.
You're going to get absolutely wiped. Yeah.
Eddie Dootson's up there as well.
45.
And then K.Anderson for an early break of throw. Yeah, he goes at the 20s.
100.
Good last start.
You mentioned about close calls. Cristo Reyes was pretty close to getting to the World Match Play Championship at the last Pro Tour event. He just needed one more win and
60.
Fell at the final hurdle against 60. Joe Cullen. This is the only hurdle that K.Anderson wants to cross, and he does so.
First leg. K.Anderson, second leg Kyle to throw first.
Regardless of that run to the semi-finals in the Pro Tour event recently for Cristo Reyes, you still have to have K.Anderson as favourite. Beating Vincent van der Voort at the World Match Play Championships
100.
to a lot of people was to form. But then Michael van Gerwen got his revenge for that bullseye finishing that was put on him in Vienna.
Yeah, I have to say I quite fancied Carl to give him a run for his money at the match play, but we just did not get near him. But then again, nobody did over the course of that 9-day spell in Blackpool.
100.
Lifted his second match play title. And he was disappointed, Kyle, with that. He was struggling to see the positives directly after the match. But
100.
when you get a bit of a hiding, it often is quite difficult. But you only have to look, well, my word. I wouldn't throw it there again, Carl. Yeah, just whack it in the 51.
131.
Well, that's definitely the strangest 131 I've seen in a while.
Yeah, you had to go back up and hit the 20 to leave the 170.
It's not often you hit the 60 and cover the bull.
140. Carl, you require 170.
Well, he's left the big one. Oh, that's perfect for him. Oh, he'd be so disappointed not to have followed that in with another.
Cristo, you require 146.
Went looking for the 140, which would have left double 15, but the way K.Anderson's been playing lately, he fancies himself to hit anything. Not quite there for Cristo Reyes. Needed the 54 for a dart at a double, and Kyle Anderson with a chance to make it 2-0 now.
98. Kyle will require 70.
What's his route going to be? It's going to be treble 18, single 20. Oh, he was going for single 12.
30.
But missed it. Got
Chris
greedy and
Owen
went for the
require
treble.
48.
He might pay a big, big price for that. Might still do so.
Game
And
shot on
does.
the second leg.
Oh,
Christo
that
Reyes.
hurts.
Right, Paul, you're a professional
Third
dart
leg,
player.
Christo,
I want
the
your
front
opinion on this,
first.
because Kyle is not the only player when they've got a single number to leave
Game
a good
on.
double, as he did in that case. He had 52 left, single 12 with left double top. A number of players you'll see still go for the treble, which will leave a double that they can hit, but they still go. Why is that? When you've got a much bigger target out towards the double rather than the treble, you're not likely or less likely to miss the big number entirely, but we still see players do it on a regular basis, and sometimes
95.
they pay the penalty. And even if you do hit the treble, you end up with a double that breaks down a lot quicker to double one. Why do that?
In this case, if you'd hit the treble 12, it would have been double 8 left.
60.
And possibly Kyle would prefer double 8 to double top. I don't think that was it. There is a consensus
56.
among a lot of really good dart players that if you go for the treble, you're keeping your focus. With a big segment like 12 or sometimes in the 16s, that's used a lot. People say that if you go for the big number, you can lose your concentration, which you shouldn't do, but you might. But then if you go for the treble, you're automatically thinking, okay, smaller target, got to focus. And then they use the single as the insurance policy. I personally think, stop messing about. Go for a big 12. Don't be a wimp and just go the normal way. Sometimes
60.
dart players overcomplicate things to the hilt. And in this case, Kyle made a mistake. He will say that he did. If he was in that situation again, which he may be in this match later on, I don't think he'd do the same.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if he
55.
does. It's an interesting point.
What is very interesting as well is that when he was eliminated from the World Match Play Championships,
40.
a lot of dart players would have just gone home and taken a week off. Kyle went to the Cheshire Open and they hit a 9 dart leg. So that's what you call keeping
59.
the momentum going
Kyle
by
require
going to a local
150.
tournament, which a lot of players went to. Wes Newton was there as well. He played very, very well. He hit a 9 darter anyway.
98.
That's pretty good.
Christo, you require 127.
Well, he leaves himself to 52. Is he going to come back and have a look at taking that out in 2 darts? 127 for Christo Reyes. Oh, good dart down for the 17s. No messing. Bullseye.
80.
What a way off.
Kyle will require
I've been watching Christo for a while. His throw looks good to me at the moment, but he didn't mess around this time with the 52. He's still got double 10 to close the leg out. He
Game
gets
shot
it.
on the third leg. Kyle Anderson.
Case in point, don't mess
Fourth
around
leg,
with the
Kyle
treble.
to
Go
front
for the
first.
12,
Game on.
and you win the leg.
Well, I thought he might have gone 20 for double 16 in that case. It felt like he was almost proving a point to himself, that he can just go and hit a big 12 without
95.
messing around near the treble. Maybe reading too much into that, but he managed to get the job done, and he'd probably be an element of that where he's even more frustrated with himself that he took out the 52 on double 10 in the end.
The proverbial, why didn't I do that the first time?
Yeah. Now then, look at that. So much room. So much room for Kyle Anderson. First maximum of this particular contest, and could help Kyle Anderson produce the first hold of throw we've seen here. We had 3 breaks of throw
44.
to start this one off.
And Kyle Anderson's brought his game in this match for me. I don't think Christo has brought his A game yet. So it's important for Kyle basically put his foot on the gas and get some distance between him and Christo before he really finds his range.
Yeah, because Christo is a very dangerous
58.
player. We know this, and Christo is
Kyle will require 86.
consistently winning a game or 2 here or there in tournaments, and there's a big number missed by Kyle Anderson. He's just gone into the wrong treble bed
46.
there. He has left himself double top, though, so no massive damage done. But it took quite a while for Christo to make his first quarter-final on the Pro Tour. Did that earlier this year. Then he followed it up with that run to the semi-finals, which you mentioned. Only Joe
99.
Cullen stopping him from making
Kyle
the final
will
and
require
getting to the
40.
match play. I mean, huge, huge match that for Christo Reyes. Had it gone his way, you know, an extra 10 grand a minute. Well, more than that, extra 13 grand
Game showing the
But he doesn't get a go at the
flag.
160, and Kyle Anderson opens
Fifth
up a
leg,
bit of a gap
Christo
between the
to
pair of them.
first.
Absolutely does. Kyle on his way here. Took out Steve McNally, our favourite hobo. And Mark Barilli of Scotland.
40.
Christo taking out the talented Daniel Larsson of Sweden in the European qualifier, followed by someone who I've been practicing their name for a little while, Zsolt Messeros.
Can you tell me any more about Zsolt Messeros?
It begins with a Z.
There we go. Probably leave it at that.
And then to get through,
96.
Remco Van Eyden. My friend Remco, who was a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Of course, even uses their motif as on his shirt.
100.
He's one of the only people I can talk to in the darting world about American football. Sebastian Meyer from PDC Europe, a fellow Steelers fan. Just giving him a wave as he's right behind me. But Remco, a very good player from Holland. And Christo taking him out to get here.
95. Christo, you require 167.
Doesn't need to use the ball route, Christo. Not going to get a go at it anyway, but just look to leave himself handy. And
57.
And it could have been a little bit better. A ton 40 here from Kyle Anderson. A bit of pressure applied. Or it could be even better than that, you know.
Here's an interesting thought. We've got two guys on stage who are
131. Christo, you require 100.
made of a bit of muscle from hotter countries, Australia and Spain. You've got to think that these two will be very comfortable on that stage, as hot as it is.
Oh. Certainly in Tenerife. Now then, Reyes. Oh, just inside. Kyle Anderson
Kyle, you require
could get a dart at the
130.
bullseye here. May get a dart at double five. That looks great for him. Oh, double five for Kyle Anderson.
125.
Misses by a similar distance, and
Christo, you require 18.
Christo can pin the double nine. Oh, wow, splitting it.
Game
And it's a
shot
good
on the
effect.
fifth leg.
And it is
Christo
3-2,
Reyes.
and Christo just
Six
stops
leg
Kyle
Kyle
Anderson
to
pulling
throw
away
first.
further.
That's how you do it. 18. If you don't want to go for it, if you've got 3 darts in your hand, make the decision
85.
and execute the plan. Brilliantly done from Reyes.
Winner of this one faces the number 16 seed Alan Norris. Norris bumped up into the seedings following Phil Taylor's withdrawal from the event, which means that
100.
he saved having to negotiate a potentially tricky first round tie. It's an extra £500 guaranteed for him in terms of prize money. But it does mean that should he come
140.
through that match, and should Michael van Gerwen come through his match, then they would meet each other. So I think he would take the free pass to the second
125.
round, but he might have preferred to have been bumped into a different bit of the draw.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said at breakfast this morning, because I actually had breakfast with Chuck this morning, and I said, oh, Phil's withdrawal must be good for you, extra bit of money. He says, yeah, thanks for the day off, Phil.
134.
He did also say to me that he's capable of beating Michael van Gerwen. He's just got to remind himself of that. If they do meet,
60.
Van Gerwen would have to get
Christo, you
past
require 142.
Jamie Caven and Van Gerwen.
Hello. Hello. Double top.
Game
Oh,
shot
yes,
on the
Christo.
sixth leg.
I was just
Christo
going to say it was
Reyes.
half a chance, and he turned it into a full
Seventh leg,
chance.
Christo to throw
This
first.
game has just been
Game
set
on.
alight.
Well, well, well. Christo Reyes. That is as good a checkout as we've seen today. We saw a 160 from Jeffrey de Graaf, but look at this for a follow-up. Oh, dear.
27.
Oh, well, someone put the fire out.
$100.
But it should be noted that, you know, Christo, despite making some strides and making his first quarter-final this year and then making his first semi-final in the PDC ranking event, it's not really been that consistent from him elsewhere. He has
34.
struggled a little bit. This is his 4th Euro Tour this year. He's gone out in round 1 a couple of times, maybe the last 16 in Munich, though, as Anderson fires in 180 number 2. And
80.
exactly the sort of response he would have wanted from himself, having been broken for 3 apiece.
43.
Well, we did think this was going to be one of the best games of the night. It is turning out to be that way. It's pretty close. Been a couple of breaks already. As it stands, Kyle is going to wrestle
60.
the throw back. which he needs to do. Only way to wrestle that throw back to yourself, Christo. 140 plus. You're saying about inconsistency. That 142 in the last leg was magical. But then he starts with a very low score.
34.
Maybe that's the only weakness that he has.
Well, he's left himself the 163, which he can't take out. So Kyle Anderson, does he go ball?
65.
Yeah. 65. The extra 5 points there brings him down under 100. Now he's on a 2-darter rather than having to use all 3 darts. So hits the treble first dart. He's going to get 2 darts for an immediate break back, Kyle Anderson. See, a lot of players
89.
use the ball in that way with their last dart just to try and make things easier. Can he take advantage and hit the treble first off? Well, that doesn't help, but treble 17 tops still gets the job done. Tops. 4-3. Great takeout. After
Anderson.
a bit of a loose first dart.
Leg, Kyle to throw first. Game on.
Well, you know you're playing well when you have a loose dart and you recover like that. That was classy. That was a confident shot. There we go. He's covered the bull again. He's got to go 18s.
135.
Have you noticed that he's got the grooves at the end of the point? Because he knows that he's got really long points and that sometimes he's going to get a wavering dart like that. By having those 2 or 3 grooves at the end means that they will stick in there.
60.
Goes to show that
they've worked. I mean, I've never seen, certainly not twice in the game, 2 darts so precariously hanging in the ball.
That just goes to show he knows his equipment and he knows his engineering as well, where to put the grooves and when not to.
You
know, had he not had that, I mean, it could have been 120 points he's lost in this game alone, and that could be the difference between winning and losing a couple of legs.
Well, that's exactly right, because if you think about Christian Kist having darts on the floor, if he'd have had grooves at the end, if you're listening, Christian, maybe give it a try.
Yeah, Christian Kist going down 6-3 to Jamie Caven earlier on. It might have been different, but that is the needed 3 trebles to get to a finish there. Christo Reyes gets them. Oh, it's another loose one. This time he can't finish it.
43.
He's given himself an opportunity here, Christo Reyes, with his first maximum of the match, and surely not. This would be a killer. Christo Reyes, the bullseye.
112.
Doesn't really get close.
68.
Kyle was thinking, what's going on here with this 142, 161 stuff?
Game shot.
That's what's going on.
Kyle Anderson.
I'll take your 161 effort and raise you a 68
leg,
clean out
Christo
straight away. No
first.
messing. 5-3 up.
Game on.
Well, it's been solid stuff from Kyle Anderson. He led 3-1. He was pegged back to 3-all. Since fired in 96 and 68 checkouts to go within a leg of the second round and a meeting with Alan Norris, the number 16 seed. This is not over by any means, but he's hitting 50% of his doubles and averaging just over 95, and that is what you would class as a solid, if unspectacular display.
Absolutely solid. And it's almost like the average game now for Kyle. That's how his game has progressed. He's gone from being someone who would average in the late 80s
100.
to someone who will be between that 93 to 98 average all of the time, and then throw in the occasional ton plus, or more occasional ton plus like he did in Vienna.
46.
I don't think we've seen the best of Kyle Anderson. I think he's got a phenomenal talent, and we've seen the sort of ceiling of his performance, the real top-level stuff. When he really does turn it on, he can play phenomenal darts that can mix it with the very best, and it's just a case of unlocking that and doing it on a more regular basis. But I think there's not nothing that can go wrong with that throw particularly. It's very steady. He's got the right temperament. I think he's got a lot more to give.
And he's got a lot of fans in the darting world from the players. I know that Mark Walsh's words were he deserves everything he gets because he's a phenomenal player. And that's a great compliment coming from the Walshmeister.
Oh man, he's won double figures of PDC titles, admittedly all on the floor, but hey, they ain't easy to win.
Christo, you require 160.
And believe it or not, Kyle believes that his brother is better than him. Maybe that's brotherly respect, but he firmly believes that Bo is a better player.
Saw Bo at the World Championship, of course, a few years ago now. Now, can Anderson just pressure this? He can. Christo, what have you got? Anderson sat on 77 for the match. The 60 might have to go. Shuffle across the hockey. Topsy wants, Topsy gets.
Game
Superb
shown,
stuff
the
from Cristo Reyes.
Cristo
Stays
Reyes,
alive in this
10th leg,
one. This
Kyle
is the
with
leg.
first.
Anderson with the throw. Looking to hold and win it 6-4 and book his place in round 2. And you do not start any better than that. At all.
180.
Well, we're talking about dart players who know their angles. Look at the adjustment that he made after the first dart. It was minuscule to the right. He plants it right where he wanted it, to the millimetre. Then he readjusts to the left again. And it was right where he wanted it.
Well, now he doesn't know which way to move.
That's just talent.
Oh, 4 perfect darts.
65.
Well, for once, he sees one not sticking the board.
Well, we're still at 4 perfect darts. We're looking for someone to go to 5 and better.
There's time yet. Time yet tonight.
96.
Kyle will be hoping there's no time left in this match. He wants a score here. There it is, wobbling again, but in the board. Needs to stay there, or he might go 18s.
140.
Forget about me, he knows better than I do.
What a leg of darts this is from Kyle Anderson, especially when you've had one fall out the board as well. To be on 116 after 9 in a leg to close it out. Don't win this leg and you're suddenly second favourite for the match.
Well, Cristo Reyes has not played bad here. He's just run into someone who's in form, someone who's confident, and someone who wants to kill this shot right away. Will not do so, but it is coming back.
40.
Unfortunately for him, it's 76 instead of 16 after that bounce out.
Oh, you know, a second bounce out in this leg, and had Cristo been right there
89.
on a finish, it might have cost
Kyle
him. It's
requires
already
76.
piled huge pressure on this. He should get at least 1 dart.
Should. Only one way to go. It's going to be 16 for tops for the match.
36.
So Reyes is coming back.
Cristo, you require 84.
And Anderson has played better than Reyes in this match. But the thing is, Cristo coming to the board, and if he can hit this 84, it's all to play for in the final leg.
Wow. He's gone the bull route, so it should guarantee him a dart at a double rather than at the bullseye. Topsy wants for 5 all. Oh, Reyes takes it out for a 15-darter. We're going all the way here. And Kyle Anderson has missed one match dart. He might have had more were it not for a bounce house he suffered in that leg. But he got his chance. He failed to take it. Now Reyes has the throw.
Kyle stalking him just behind him at the exclusion zone there. The black carpet that you're
59.
not allowed to tread on until your opponent is at the board. Can't wait to get to the board. This has been an enthralling contest. It just feels like Kyle should have already won this, but the thing is, Reyes is just taking his time and taking his chances.
Well, look, Kyle didn't do a great deal wrong in that last leg. He did get 1 dart in the end, but he probably deserved a few more with the way that he scored in that leg. He just had darts bounce out the board, but he started off with a 140 here, and if he continues in the same vein, that's a bit of a blocker, but he thinks he can get by, and that might have been the wrong decision.
41.
Well, what that does, that 41, is it gives Reyes a chance to get back in this match and back in this leg.
Yeah, nerves. Nervy stuff from the Spaniard.
84.
Great last dart.
Well, we said at the end of the Max Hop match that tons become very good at the end of matches, and they're priceless now.
Looked so inviting, that first dart.
45.
Try and find the treble, and just 45. And is Kyle Anderson scoring, now just eluding him at the crucial moment.
Could be one big score that changes this entire match in the favour of one of the players.
Who can hold their nerve here?
60.
How good is that 60? Darts close together, but not good enough. Might want 105 here, but he wants more than that. Gets more. 135 is a very inviting finish. So if Reyes leaves a finish now in this 11th leg, Kyle has got that beautiful option of hitting the bullseye or the 25 and still having a shot to take the match out.
No
43.
finish left. Surely Anderson
Kyle
just
will
pounds the
require
treble 20 here.
135.
Yeah, well, it's a sensible decision. Really made the most of it.
55.
And again, he's left himself a finish where he should get 1 match dart. He didn't take it out in the previous leg. And Reyes stepped in.
He went to 15s because he didn't want to leave double 19 and have
99.
that thing going
Kyle
around in
will
his mind as
require
if to say,
80.
do I go for it or do I split it? But now he doesn't have any choices. 20 and tops. No 20 for him.
40.
It deflected off the first off, so
you
Reyes
require
comes back
96.
for 96. Taking his time. I think that's the right play. He did it in the previous leg. Feeling the heat.
Well, they were the shots that Kyle Anderson was not missing last time out on the European Tour when he played superbly in Austria. And Cristo Reyes may well punish him here. 96 for the match. He's already survived one match dart. He's going to get to himself. Double 18. Double 9. Reyes
87.
fails to take it out. And Kyle Anderson comes back to the
40.
board. He's been given 2 lives by Reyes. Can he use them?
3 darts in hand. All he
Game
needs the
shot.
one.
And a match.
And a big
Kyle
sigh of relief for
Anderson.
Kyle, the original Anderson. But Reyes knows that he had this game in the palm of his hands. He did everything right to wrestle himself back into the contest. Kyle made a mistake, but he got another chance and he took it out.
Well, Kyle Anderson somehow finds his way through to face Alan Norris in the second round. We've got one more spot in the last 32 up for grabs, and it's going to go to either the Bear or the Iceman, Tony Newell, in the final match of the night. The man from Kendal taking on the muscle-bound former rugby player from Wales in Gerwyn Price.
Congratulations. That was a tough one, huh?
It was, you know, Christo's a good player in his own right, and I tell you what, the heat did pay towards the match. It was warm in here. I think I'm missing the heat from back home a bit.
Did you think that you would come back to the board when he had these 2 match starts?
To be honest, no. I think but Christo's been going back to where he's from and getting used to the heat. So I've been over here for a while and haven't felt this heat for a while. So it's got to get used to it. And
Alan Norris is your next opponent?
tomorrow's a new day. You know, Alan can play well. I can play well. It's just a matter of who comes out in that game, and hopefully I can.
Good to see you tomorrow again. Thank you very much. Kyle Anderson. Der gerade sagt,